Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the digital world and look at something called information architecture. It's this invisible force that, believe it or not, organizes just about everything you do online. So let's just dive right in. You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You land on a website and everything just clicks. You know exactly where to go, it's smooth, it's fast, it's intuitive. But then you go to another site and it is a total nightmare. A maze. You can't find a single thing you're looking for, and you just end up leaving frustrated. What is the difference there? Well, the answer is information architecture, or IA for short. It's the intentional, invisible blueprint that's working behind the scenes. Just think of it as a combination of four really key things: how information is organized, how it's labeled so it actually makes sense to a human, the secret data about the data, and of course, the navigation that lets you move through it all. Okay, so to really get this, we've got to start with the fundamentals. Let's talk about the absolute building blocks of IA. First up is metadata. Now, I know it sounds super technical, but I promise it's actually pretty simple. It is just data about other data. Seriously, think of it like a label on a file folder. It tells you exactly what's inside, so you don't have to waste your time opening up every single folder just to find what you need. This old story about the blind men and the elephant is just a perfect analogy for this. Each person touches only one part of the elephant, the tusk, the tail, the leg, and they all come away with a completely different idea of what an elephant is. Well, metadata is what gives us all those different perspectives at once, so we can finally see the whole elephant, the entire picture. So metadata usually comes in about three main flavors. You've got structural metadata, which is all about hierarchy, kind of like the chapters in a book. Then there's descriptive metadata, which is about the content itself. Think keywords or tags on a YouTube video. And finally, administrative metadata, which handles all the behind-the-scenes stuff, like who made the file and on what date. Okay, so with all this data and metadata flying around, how do we stop things from getting messy? That's where a data dictionary comes into play. It's basically the one single source of truth, a master list that defines what every single term means, so that customer name means the exact same thing to everyone in the system. And here's what one looks like in the wild. This one is for a patient database. See how it defines exactly what first name is, what kind of data it holds, and what format a DOB, or date of birth, needs to be in. It's that detailed, behind-the-scenes guide that prevents absolute chaos in any big system. Now, let's talk about how we group things. We can either classify them or categorize them. Classification, that's really rigid. It's systematic. Think of a strict librarian using the Dewey Decimal System. There are rules. Categorization, on the other hand, is way more flexible and intuitive. It's more like how you organize your own closet, maybe by color or by season. They're just two different tools for two very different jobs. All right, now that we have those building blocks down, we can start to construct much more organized systems. We're going to move from just simple lists to more complex structures. And this all starts with something called a controlled vocabulary. All this is a specific, predefined set of terms that everyone agrees to use. Now, this isn't about limiting what people can say, it's about creating absolute clarity so we're all speaking the same language. And this is absolutely crucial in fields like medicine. A controlled vocabulary means a doctor doesn't have to guess whether to search for heart attack or myocardial infarction. The system knows the preferred term, which makes searching for information incredibly precise and efficient. It can literally be a lifesaver. Okay, ready to level up? What happens when you take one of those controlled vocabularies and you organize it into a hierarchy? Well, then you get a taxonomy. So this isn't just a flat list of words anymore. It's a tree-like structure that shows parent-child relationships, creating these really useful categories and subcategories. And you use these every single day, probably without even realizing it. Ever shopped on Amazon? When you click on electronics, then headphones, then over-ear, you are navigating a taxonomy. It's like a perfect little roadmap that guides you through a huge catalog of items to find exactly what you're looking for. So far, we've talked about simple lists and these neat, orderly trees. But let's be honest, the real world is a lot messier. So now we're going to move into some more advanced structures that create these incredible webs of meaning. When we hear the word thesaurus, we all think of synonyms, right? But in information architecture, it is so much more than that.
It takes a taxonomy and then adds another layer, these associative relationships. So it doesn't just link parent to child, it connects ideas that are related to each other, creating this rich, powerful network of connections.
This is the magic behind those related searches you see on Google. The system is using a thesaurus in the background to guess what else you might be interested in. It helps you discover connections between topics you never even thought to look for. It's an incredible tool for discovery. And that brings us to the top of the mountain, the ontology. This is the most powerful, most sophisticated system of them all. It's not just a map of terms, it's a complete, formal model of an entire field of knowledge. It's a true blueprint for understanding that defines every single concept and all the rules that connect them. Now, this pizza topping ontology is a really fun way to get your head around the concept. It defines what a topping is, that mozzarella is a type of cheese, that pepperoni is a meat topping, and so on. But this exact same principle is used for unbelievably serious things, from powering complex scientific research to literally forming the brains of artificial intelligence systems. Okay, so we've built this incredible, complex, elegant structure for all our information, but so what? How do people actually use it? In this last section, let's look at how we actually navigate the system.
All this beautiful organization is totally useless if no one can find their way around. And that is the job of navigation schemes. These are the menus, the sitemaps, the search bars, all the tools that act as the pathways and road signs that guide us through the information.
And to design really great navigation, you have to map out the user's journey. Designers use tools just like this data flow diagram to visualize every single step a person might take, anticipating what you'll need next to make the whole experience feel completely effortless. And this right here brings our whole journey together. Remember? We started with a simple, controlled vocabulary. We built that into a hierarchical taxonomy. Then we connected different concepts with a networked thesaurus. And finally, we modeled an entire world of knowledge with an ontology. Each layer just builds on the last, adding more structure and more meaning to bring powerful order to the chaos of information. And all of this leads us to one final and I think really crucial question. AI systems are increasingly organizing our world for us, but those systems are only ever as good as the structures they're built on. As these intelligent systems shape more and more of our lives, the principles of information architecture have never been more important. So the question is, who's going to be their architect?